All right, what is going on YouTube? What's up, y'all? It's Chuck Nunface here. I was gonna wait a few days before I went ahead and did this video. This is gonna be more of an in-depth look, call it a review if you want to, of this knife on the table right here. But as it turns out, excuse me, I really, after a couple days in the pocket, I don't feel like I need any more time with it. My plan was to kind of mix something else in between before releasing this one, but I'm just ready to do this one now. And I can sum it up really quite simply is damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. 2-word review right there. When I picked this up, I thought it was going to be a knife that, I would have, and I would kind of be like, oh, okay, experience it a little bit, carry it around, be like, all right, that's nice, it's cool, I like the look of it, I'm glad I got this one from Monkey Edge, yada, yada, yada. But then, feel pretty good about going ahead and turning it around and trading it or selling it or something like that. But it turns out it has really grown on me. So it is just yet another knife in the growing list of knives that I don't want to part with in my collection. So tough choices all the time to be made as a knife guy. So it kind of is what it is. But without any further ado, just some quick specs. It has a blade length of 3.6, I think it's 8¼ inches, or yeah, I believe it's 8¼ inches overall. A blade length of 3.625 with a 3¼ inch cutting edge. So that's what you're looking at right there for your cutting edge. This one is, of course, a Tanto grind. Very narrow, very thin, slicey blade. So that is a 0.125 blade stock. And handle scales, they're all approximately 0.125. They may vary just a little bit. I may not have that numbered quite right, but it is very thin, exceedingly thin, and a svelte 4.1 ounces. So really just kind of disappears in the pocket there. Do a few size comparisons right here. So the ever-present Paramilitary 2 right there, pretty close. The Ontario Rat 1, smaller than the Rat 1, smaller than the Para 2, but certainly not anything crazy. The Spyderco Manix 2, that's also in CPM. Both these are in CPM M4. This is the KnifeWorks exclusive, and this is the Blade HQ exclusive that I dyed green and got a Flytanium ball bearing or ball lock cage there for that. Let's see, we'll do it right here with the Chris Reeve Knives 21, also in Tanto. Kind of keep it the Tanto theme right there. So, a little bit smaller than that too, so it's got a pretty good carry profile. And as you'll see right here, in the pocket, it's not going to be too tall in the pocket or anything like that. Chris Reeve Knives is going to be taller in the pocket. Let's look at thickness right there. Well, we'll do it like this. Little bit thinner overall than a Paramilitary 2. So very thin. 3/8 inch, so less than ½ an inch wide in the pocket. So certainly nothing wrong with that. It is running on bearings. Now this is a departure from what Medford normally does. They're pretty much always, or they have been historically, phosphor bronze washers. This is running on bearings. I did take it apart, kind of looked at the internals, cleaned it up a little bit as I usually do with most new knives, and it is absolutely running on bearings, and as is evidenced by the action. Medfords typically take a little while to break in. This one had a really solid action out of the box, and so I kind of had a suspicion that it was on bearings, and that really just confirmed it right there that it was on. Well, of course, when I opened it up and saw that it was on bearings, that's going to confirm that it was on bearings. So that is something that's pretty cool too. I believe they kind of went away from, or introduced bearings about 2 years ago, something like that. Probably around the same time they introduced the Praetorian Slim models and Swift models and everything else. They decided to add some bearings to certain models. So previous generations do have phosphor bronze washers, but this one, as you see here, does have ball bearings. So this is a new model, as denoted by the date code right there on the blade. So that right there, that 1 means 2021-09, that's September, and then it was the 18th model of the run. I don't know exactly how they do that, but that's what those numbers mean on the sides right there. Most of the time, the number on the blade and then the number on somewhere on the scale on the body will coincide. They'll be the same. Occasionally, especially with older models, it might not be the same. You might have mismatch, but it's really not anything to worry about. Kind of look at it here. This is the not full size Marauder. This is the Marauder H. So the H is the hybrid between the full thickness Marauder, which is a 0.26 blade stock, and I believe 0.187 or 0.190 thick. In any case, pretty thick scales as well. This one is basically 0.19, 0.187, 0.187, or 0.19 all the way around. So it's the hybrid, so it has pretty much the same blade stock thickness and scale thickness as the all the way around. So that's kind of the size difference as you see here. So quite a bit slimmer than even the Marauder H, and certainly going to be slimmer than the full thickness Marauder, which is going to be the 1/4-inch blade stock, or a little bit more than that. So nice little knife, and I really like this knife too, by the way. Really, so a lot of things to like about this knife. This is going to be a great EDC knife. I've said even before handling one of these, and this is really the first one that I've handled, that the Slim Midi is kind of the Medford. It's the Medford knife for guys that don't know if they want to carry a Medford or not. And having one in hand, definitely it confirms that. It is a bit of a fingerprint magnet with this finish though, so something to just, it's that faced and then anodized, so it's been polished and everything else, so it does pick up fingerprints quite easily. Yeah, so it's very slim. I mean, if you don't know if you want to carry something like this, the H Marauder, that's going to be a lot bigger in hand. It's going to be, much beefier, much heavier, everything else. You're not sure you want to commit to something like that. You just want something that's going to be more EDC friendly, a little bit slicier, maybe. This is going to be a good choice for you. As an aside, most Medford knives they cut well. They have a reputation, a very undeserved reputation of not being able to cut, but they all have very nice grinds and very nice, blade geometry. So they've got these nice hollow grinds. And yeah, they're not super thin behind the edge, but they're gonna cut just fine. So they have this undeserved reputation of being, folding shovels and what have you. But that may have been more prevalent in the early days of the company, but it's certainly not now. They do a really good job over there as far as grinding their blades. But this one with a thin blade stock of 0.125, I mean, like we're saying, that is Sebenza territory. And just to kind of look, I mean, there it is next to a Sebenza right there. I mean, that is, I don't have calipers. At some point, maybe I'll get them, but that's a thin little blade, and it has got a nice hollow grind on it too. So the grind's not as high as it is on the Chris Reeve, but it is nice and thin behind the edge. So certainly nothing to complain about there. So there's a real lot to like about this. I mean, this particular model, the Monkey, is exclusive. It is going to have that frag milling pattern, which tends to sell out really quick on their site, tends to be very popular and really desirable. Great purple bronze ano. It really looked a lot more purple when I first got it, but after handling, the bronze is really starting to come out, and in certain lights it will just look like bronze. I probably won't be able to capture that on camera. I'll try with my light, but I don't know if it's really going to come through. But it definitely, in direct light, it looks more bronze, and then it looks more purple with bronze highlights. Just in natural lighting. So that is also very cool. Flicks out super easy. Basic, I wouldn't say it's drop shut, but I really don't care if it's drop shut. Closes with some shaking right there, some light shaking. A little harder, a little bit harder. I can get it most of the time. Of course, on camera, I'm going to muff it. To do like a flick with the thumb. These are external blade stops. They are not thumb studs, so don't try to use those. You're not going to have a good time if you do. But it flicks out with a spidey flick very easily, pretty much no matter where you are in the fuller. It'll snap out a little harder the higher you are in your fuller, right there. So I'm way up and it snaps out with a lot of authority. A little bit less when you're down low on the fuller, but absolutely functional in that regard. A couple of things that maybe they missed on, and really this is nitpicky stuff. But the pocket clip right there, it was a little loose, and it wasn't something that I had really kind of considered a whole lot. It was going in and out of my jeans just fine, but I was talking to a guy on Instagram, and he was saying, you know, that was the only thing he didn't really like about the knife was the pocket clip tension. And they typically, Medford will leave, you know, well, this isn't a good example of that, but they'll leave enough room so you can put a credit card underneath the pocket clip without having to flex the clip in any way. And so this one was like that as well. And I could definitely see it possibly being an issue. It would definitely go in and out of slacks without a problem. So if you're wearing dress slacks or khakis or something like that, you wouldn't have a problem getting in and out of the pocket. But it may be an issue if you were to be doing something, you know, a high impact activity where it may come out of your pocket, possibly. In any case, I was able to bend this down just a little bit by simply unscrewing one of these, rotating it over, putting a little tension on the clip, rotating it back, screwing it down, and going ahead. And now it's just enough to rest on there without really being forced onto this scale. So that was an easy fix. It was just something that I wanted to do. Your mileage may vary. You don't want to do that, but if you do, it's fairly easy to fix. Something to be advised, maybe I'll do a takedown of this at some point, but they do have these little hex nuts that are behind the scale in these recessed pockets milled within the TI. And they will come out when you loosen up these two screws right here. And these are just Allen screws, by the way. And they will fall out. So you got to be kind of careful while you're doing that and just practice on it and kind of know what you're doing. But pretty easy all the way around. Obviously, it's got an LBS on there. These are all T8. These body screws right here are T8. This is a honkin' T30 right there. And so I think that's pretty cool. They typically have a small 4-pin pivot right there where you're going to need a spanner tool. But this, you just need a T30. And I actually have that on my Weehaw. Still haven't found my T8 bit, but, you know, life goes on. In any case, let me see. Another thing that maybe I would change about it, just from a design standpoint, I think it would be cool if they cut that finger groove, that finger choil down so everything kind of matched the scale. If they brought it back just a little bit and so it recessed and it matched up right there like that. Certainly not a deal breaker, and it's certainly not bad the way it is right there, but if they kind of just took that circle, made it a little bit deeper and went all the way in so it was more continuous right there in the hand, it would just look better. I don't think it would function any better. I mean, that's a fine finger choil right there. You can choke up on it, no problem. You can have your back here, do it like that, whatever you want to do. But I think it would be kind of cool. And then possibly doing something different and doing more of a recessed cutout for the lock release. So it does have a recess right there. All right, so it's not like it's non-existent, but with everything being so thin, it can take a little getting used to get in there and release it. Now, it mirrors what's going on with this one. So this one is, you know, the full size is going to be really the same thing, or the H, but the full is essentially going to be the same thing. So it's not going to be recessed at all in order to access your cutout, but with a 0.19 blade stock, you have a lot more room to kind of get in there. All right, so it's a little bit easier on the full size, and it's a little bit harder on the Slim Midi, like I say, just because it's so thin like that. But really, other than that, I mean, that's nitpicky stuff. It's not hard. It just takes a little getting used to. And honestly, that is about it. This is a fantastic knife. It is going to be, I think I'm going to keep it for a while at least. Will it end up being sold or traded to somebody at some point? It's possible. But I mean, as of right now, I've liked this way more than I thought I was going to, and I'm really happy that I was able to add it to the collection for at least for now. You know, that's just kind of the thing and how it goes with people who are into any sort of hobby. I mean, it's basically self-sustaining, where I can sell out of my collection to get new things and everything else. But I've been at a ballast point in my collection for a long time where I really don't want to get rid of anything. And it's just tough decisions when it comes time if I want to get something new. But that's just the way it is. Hey, if you're able to keep everything you can buy, more power to you. But I do okay, but I've got a family and expenses and things to take care of and responsibilities. So hobby's got to come secondary. In any case, listen, I'm going to wrap it up right there. Go ahead and do me a favor and hit that subscribe. Should be right there in the corner somewhere. Hit that subscribe icon. Like the video, share the video with your friends, share it on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Chuck_Nunface. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Is this something that you want to add to your collection? A Slim Midi? Do you like the bearings on it? Do you wish you had washers still? Anything like that. Always happy to hear it. So in any case, hope y'all are doing well. Thanks for checking it out. Bye.